Story 1. Am I the a-hole for offending the bride and the groom? Original post. Hey, throw away because people will know about my main account. One of my friends, Katie, fake name, is getting married soon, and while hanging out she mentioned that she will be sending us her Venmo so that you could pitch in for the wedding. I was confused, so I asked her what she meant, and she said that since her and her soon-to-be husband couldn't afford the wedding party, they were requesting people to cash in as well. I come from a culture where parents usually pay for their kids' weddings. Or sometimes the soon-to-be wed do it for themselves or borrow money, which they return back. I was confused, and I asked Kate when she would return the money because I really didn't think we were so close as to borrow money from each other, and she probably got offended or something. My other friend Maya, fake name again, who is from my culture, then explained to me that it's apparently normal to chip in for your friend's wedding here. I again got confused and somewhat offended, asking if it's a wedding party. Why do the guests need to pay then? Kate really got mad and called me and asked for embarrassing her in front of everyone. Her fiancé later called me to say that I really hurt their feelings and now I am disinvited from the wedding. I was wondering where I went wrong and if I was being ignorant. Meyer is citing that this is to be some sort of culture shock. Am I the a-hole and how do I fix this? Edit info. We are in the S. And now for the comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. The audacity of announcing your Venmo to have people pay for a party. The disinvite is a bonus. Now you don't have to throw money away as a gift either. Yeah, I've never heard of a single culture where openly begging for money to host a wedding wasn't tacky and rude. Plan the wedding party that you can afford. Can't afford a wedding celebration. Then get married without the party aspect. Really want the wedding event of your dreams. Then save up for it. Sam, I've seen it happen in the United States and Canada, but that doesn't mean it's the norm. If you can't afford the wedding you want, you don't get the wedding you want. You got to make some cuts. It is very rude and definitely not customary. It almost sounds like the bride is from a different culture and learned about American weddings from movies and magazines and completely misunderstood. Similar to the post earlier this week from someone who decided they wanted a Western world wedding so they could make the bridesmaids play happy couple with the groomsmen and they would have to dance together and kiss and be just like real couples because the bride didn't like her brother's fiancé and wanted to set him up with her friend instead. Not the a-hole. Asking questions about a custom that you have never heard of isn't rude. I think it's hilarious that they think not letting you pay for part of their wedding is a punishment to you. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thank you so much for the responses and upvotes and awards. It became pretty clear in the first few comments itself that this was no culture thing or a culture shock. Thank you for explaining it, and I am sorry if I offended anyone. I have corrected Maya too, and she explained that since she was paying a lot of money for the bachelorette and other bridal party stuff, she figured this must be the norm. Anyway, I didn't call them back hoping the thing would just pass, but Katie called me and said that she overreacted and invited me back to the wedding. Since a lot of you said that they might be asking for cash instead of a gift, I asked her the same. She said the gifts were, of course, mandatory, but they were asking for some sort of extra help from friends and family to help them kick-start their new journey together. I said I wasn't comfortable in that because frankly I'm too broke to afford other people's weddings. She accepted that and again invited me, but I said I would rather not after all of this drama, and we ended the call cordially. So that's it. Not very juicy, but at least it's over. Thank you everyone, and yeah, Maya and I laugh saying we really do need better friends. Thank you. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for having my wife's missing ring replicated without her knowledge plus update? Original story. A few months ago my 44 male wife 43 female lost a ring given to her by her late grandmother. My wife was really close to her grandmother, so needless to say the ring held significant sentimental value for her. Also, given that her grandmother died last year, it was a particularly painful blow. We searched high and low but never found it. After it was missing for about a month and my wife started losing hope, I decided that I'd have the ring replicated. We did have quite a few pictures of the ring, so I thought it could potentially be done. I did suggest the idea to my wife, but she did not seem very receptive to it. She said things along the lines of how it couldn't be done and how it wouldn't be a replacement for the one her grandmother gave her. However, she didn't expressly say that she would not allow me to replicate it. I ended up taking the pictures to a jeweler and described the piece to the best of my abilities. 2 months and $9,000 later, the ring was ready. I will admit that I kept all of this a secret from my wife, and the day it was ready I canceled work to pick it up and placed it between 2 sofa cushions that my wife usually sits around. I didn't want to present her with a ring as I thought she wouldn't like that based on our conversation earlier. Fast forward a few days and my wife finds the ring. She is overjoyed, happier than I have ever seen in a long time. I congratulated her on finding it and thought that was that. Recently my wife started questioning the ring. For the past few weeks she has been telling me things like how it feels a bit different. Today when I get back from work, my wife started asking me about the ring. She was saying things like how it felt different and how it looked different. I'll save you most of the details, but in summary, about after 5 minutes of grilling me, I confessed about having the ring replicated. To say that she was furious would be an understatement. Basically, she yelled at me for being dishonest, claimed that I was acting like being married to her was charity, and also said that I had insulted her intelligence and embarrassed her in front of her friends and family, as she told them all that she found the ring. I apologized and told her that I didn't want to see her depressed, but she refused to listen. She ended up locking herself in her bedroom. I tried apologizing again, but all she did was slide the ring under the door towards me. All this just made me confused and conflicted about the entire situation. Am I the a-hole for getting her ring replaced? Now for the update. So it's been a few days since I last posted, and I'd like to provide an update on what's been happening. But before that, I'd like to thank everyone who took the time to respond to the original post. Your insights were incredibly valuable in helping me navigate this situation. As expected, I did end up spending a few nights sleeping on the couch. My wife was very angry with me, so I kept my distance and allowed her time to cool off. During this time, I've been keeping the replacement ring with me as I didn't think my wife would even want to see it. Our youngest asked me why I was sleeping on the couch the other night, and I told him that it was good for his old man's back. It's another lie, but I didn't feel too bad going ahead with it. Tuesday night after the kids went to bed, I apologized profusely for the entire situation. I told her that there was zero justification for what I did, and that I should have just listened to her rather than try to replace the ring. I told her that what I did was unbelievably foolish and inconsiderate, and I then offered to explain to her family and friends the situation if they were to ask about it. We did end up talking for a long time, and she told me that it was very difficult to describe how she felt about my actions. On the one hand, she was very frustrated that I thought I could just replace the ring, yet on the other hand, she was a bit amused that I would go to such great lengths and said that she appreciates that aspect. She ended up re-accepting the ring, and I was allowed back into her bedroom. Things do seem to be slowly returning to normal, but there's one thing that I've learned about married life, it's that this conversation will probably be revisited a few more times in the future, and they will likely make my wife upset again. For that reason, I have decided to buy my wife a necklace, which I'll surprise her within a few days. I am thinking that this will hopefully soften her anger if this conversation ever does come up again. Story 3. Updated. My 22 female friends, 22 female, hosting a banquet to honor veterans with free meals, but now wants to cancel after some attendees asked to not be posted on her social media. She also told our friend group to no longer volunteer. Original post, Ellen and I have been friends for a few years, and we're both in the same friend group too. Ellen will be graduating with her bachelor's this December, and she's an assistant manager in a fast food joint. She also has a side gig that she's talked about growing post-college, and that is her Instagram TikTok where she discusses many events with her opinions. However, she told me and a few of her friends that she didn't want a graduation party because she didn't like to celebrate herself and chose not to have a high school graduation, but that she wanted to do something else with the money her parents wanted to throw a party with. Her parents originally wanted to rent a restaurant room for her party. For herself, she said that she felt led to do something for others with the space her parents wanted to rent, and that was a gathering to honor veteran families from her church with a free dinner banquet. She also hoped to invite everyone that her parents wanted to invite to her graduation party. Her parents, both our leaders, liked the idea and brought it up to their church, and someone there offered to host the gathering in one of the church's conference rooms to save money, along with offering to pay for some of the food catering too. Ellen said the theme of the party was to honor veterans outside of Veterans Day, and the church announced it during a recent Sunday service along with sign-ups following the service. The church also sent a video she made explaining her motivation for the event in an email newsletter. The video explained that she had veteran relatives that she wanted to honor for some time, and she also posted it to her socials. The video also stated that clips from the event would be posted to her socials afterwards. Ellen also explained how she wanted the money her parents planned to spend on her graduation to go to something good instead of nothing because she didn't want a graduation party. She also stated that Facebook's birthday fundraisers gave her the idea to do something for others. Ellen asked her friend group to help decorate and be servers, and many of us volunteered, myself included, because we would have gone to her party if she had one. Ellen also wanted to do a ceremony where she'd acknowledge each veteran and give them a goodie bag. She asked us to help with the goodie bag ideas, however. When her parents informed her that some people who signed up through the church told the church that they didn't want to be on social media, it led to change in Ellen's demeanor that led to me making this post to clarify some people less than 5 didn't feel comfortable being online. So when Ellen planned to call each veteran onto the stage to give them a gift, some people wanted to be edited out of walking on stage. Ellen vented to her group about how the church asked for certain people to be edited out of the ceremony, recording before posting to social media, and Ellen planned to record with her equipment. The church even offered to have the church's video editors edit her video to make it easier, along with offering to record it on church cameras too. But she was upset because she didn't want to split video credit nor heed those requests. She said that the people who requested were being entitled when they were receiving free food. But when her parents told her that she was being unreasonable, she said that she should have never created the event and didn't want to be told how to make her videos. She also said that she'd rather cancel because the veterans should be thanking her instead of complaining. But when her parents said that video consent was important when posting online, she told them to cancel the banquet, but was told that it wasn't completely in their hands after getting the church involved in using their venue to help with catering costs along with people already signed up. When one of her friends asked if the point of the event was to honor veterans as she originally said, she said the event would have been about her if she had a graduation party. But when I said that honoring the request seemed proper to do, she questioned if I was on her side. She also said that she shouldn't do something nice for others if she wasn't getting anything out of it. She then said that we were done volunteering because she was going to have it cancelled. But when we suggested calming down before canceling emotionally, she didn't like that either. However, what made me the most disappointed was when she made a video stating that her parents didn't allow her to have a graduation party. Thus, she created the Veterans Party as an alternative because she was suppressing how she felt. She also said that she planned to sue for emotional distress if they didn't cancel the banquet at the church, and she deleted her previous videos discussing the party. When some of us reached out to her afterward, she admitted to one of her friends that she lied in the video about not being allowed to have a graduation party to try and stop the banquet, and hearing that changed my opinion of her. The party is scheduled for January, and many of us have already begun helping with preparations, not to mention those who already signed up to attend. I'm sorry my post was long, but this is my question. When would be the best way to handle this situation? We previously met at Ellen's home to discuss the decorations, goodie bag ideas, but that was before Ellen's change, and some of us, myself included, are still supposed to be servers. I'm debating reaching out to her parents to see if she's all right, the status of the party, because some of her friends think she is struggling with some sort of emotional breakdown, but a few others think that she only cares about making the video her way and getting views. If Ellen is truly suffering, I want to help her. I'm going to call her parents to see if she's alright, but we've never seen her act like this before. I also didn't believe in ghosting the commitment, so that's another reason I'm going to call them. But if anyone has any other advice, I'd really appreciate it, as I'm open to anything, and thanks to anyone who reads all of that too. Now for the updates. Update 1. When I made my last post, I said I was going to call Ellen's parents after Ellen didn't return 2 calls I made after questioning if I was on her side during her rant about regretting creating the banquet. A few of the others in our friend group also called because we didn't believe in ghosting a commitment, and we'd already begun creating giveaways and decoration ideas previously with Ellen. When I called, I decided to call her mom. We'll call her Joy. I told her that I called to ask about the banquet status along with how Ellen was doing, and told us not to volunteer anymore. She said that she appreciated me calling. She also said that she was aware of Ellen's video slandering them and asked her to remove it, but hasn't as of yet. She said they were going through a lot as a family, but that she appreciated me inquiring after I told her I didn't believe in ghosting commitments. She confirmed that the banquet was still on, and that she'd still love for us to volunteer because canceling would be wrong to everyone involved, especially the veteran families attending. She also confirmed the argument Ellen said that she had with them about canceling. She also said that she and her husband were debating how to handle the video and her recent behavior. They told Ellen she was overreacting to a simple request to edit 2 veterans out of the video when there were dozens of people signed up. When I told her that many of us were supposed by Ellen's sudden shift, she told me something I never knew. When Ellen decided not to have a high school graduation when they offered to throw her one, she began complaining after hearing how some of her friends received a lot of money at their graduations. So when they asked if she still wanted a graduation party, albeit much later into the summer than they would have initially, she blamed them for not throwing one for her instead of asking because she hated planning parties for herself. So when she declined, they offered to take her to dinner with a few friends if she wanted something smaller, but she said no, and that was too late. So when it came to her college graduation, they were certain she'd want one this time, but was surprised when she didn't. Joyce said that she'd made a mistake by enabling Ellen when Ellen blamed her indecisiveness on them. They did give her a graduation gift though. However, she said she wasn't giving in to her tantrum this time by canceling the party after getting others involved. Yes, this banquet was entirely Ellen's idea, and yes, it never would have been created without her. However, Joyce said that that wasn't a reason to disrespect everyone she got involved with. When Ellen told her parents how she wanted to honor relatives who were veterans that she was close with, she also told them that she felt led by God to do it, and they thought it was a wonderful idea if she wasn't comfortable with a party for herself. However, in light of her tantrum about refusing to share video editing credit at the church never asked for, and gave Ellen the choice to edit the veterans out herself because she felt offended by the veteran's request, Joyce said it was her fault for not teaching her earlier to not be entitled and to accept advice and constructive criticism. And she said that she should have put her foot down a long time ago. They fully paid for her tuition to go to college, and they're rightfully insulted about her threat to sue them. I told her that Ellen admitted to her friend that she lied in the video to stop the banquet. And Joyce said it'd be good for Ellen to learn now that she won't always get her way before getting married and being a drama queen when planning her wedding someday. She said that she spoke to a few others in her friend group about still volunteering too. So, as of now, I'm still volunteering and I consider my friendship with Ellen over. I'll definitely update after the banquet, and I appreciate the comments reinforcing my beliefs to follow through on the commitment. But there's one more thing I wanted to add. I'm not personally religious, but I volunteered in the past and I enjoy doing it, and simply saw this as a voluntary event in a church, and I've done previous food drives connected to churches when I was younger. I hope the event goes well and that Ellen comes to her senses, but even if it requires this situation to learn she can't always get her way, maybe that'll help her long term. I've called her a few more times since my first post as a last-ditch effort, but she never answered. Still update 2. I didn't expect to make an update so soon, But something else happened since my previous update it's worth mentioning, and my last post had promised to update after the banquet in January, but Ellen, fake name, posted another video over the weekend that doubled down on her previous one where she threatened to sue her parents if they didn't cancel the banquet. In her new video, she threatened to sue the church if they didn't cancel the banquet, and tagged the church's social media too. A different tone from her previous video where she threatened to sue her parents. She didn't take back her threat to sue her parents, but she added something else that changed the story from her previous video. She reiterated how her parents didn't allow her to have a graduation party, as she said in her previous video, and admitted to her friend it was a lie to try and stop the banquet, but added that the reason was because her parents received an opportunity to host a veterans banquet at the church, and that made them decide to fund the banquet instead of her party that they promised her before getting approval. In Ellen's previous video, she stated that the veterans banquet was her idea, but in her latest one, it was more so her parents than hers, and she went along with it because she wanted to do something when she couldn't have, that in truth didn't want, a graduation party. Our friend group is pretty much done with her. I'm officially done with her, but a few others are hoping she comes to her senses, and one even posted a comment pointing out how her story changed from her previous video, only for Ellen to delete the comment soon after. I forgot to mention this last time after speaking to Ellen's mother Joy, but Joy said that Ellen admitted to throwing out the goodie bags some of my friends helped create at her home, so we began working on an alternative. After reading some of the comments, including many more that came from a repost, many people, including veterans, said that Ellen's idea to have vets come on stage for a goodie bag was cringy and only for her social media purposes, and I brought that suggestion to my friends. So now that Ellen's removed from the event, we're going to replace the goodie bag with a different giveaway. One of my friends, John, thought of John's dad as a fast food manager and offered to investigate getting custom coupons made for the event. We'll investigate assembling a giveaway bag full of useful coupons from the local sponsors. Ellen's goodie bag would have contained a personal note. Ellen wrote along with candies and other things, and we think this is much more useful. In addition, no one will come on stage to receive them as they will be placed on their tables. We're also considering not recording the event because the focus should be honoring the veterans. Joy also stated in her last call that I forgot to mention that she doubts Ellen's veteran relatives will attend in light of everything with Ellen. But we have a commitment to the veterans who signed up through the church, and we hope to keep it come January. At worst, we'll try to send her veteran relatives something in the mail, but we haven't figured out what to send them yet since the sponsorships we're trying to get would be local and some are out of town. If anyone has any ideas, we'll be more than open to them. I haven't heard anything from Joy or the church that is open to them. I haven't heard anything from Joy or the church in regards to the church's response to Ellen's video, but I will make an edit if I hear anything soon.